Hello, good morning. Welcome to today's episode. I'm really excited to introduce today's guest. Special place in my heart, history teacher, football coach, life coach, and an insurance agent's best friend, a key lockout. Doug, welcome to today's show. Please tell us about you.
Thank you for having me, Toni. Tell you, I used to be we'll go straight into it. I used to be a college advisor. I was a teacher for about 25 years, coached football. Basically, I've been mentoring people in some manner or form for a long time. And I had an opportunity to work at a university here in the Midwest, and I decided just the atmosphere and the environment wasn't right. I had a really good friend. She was very strong in her faith. We both believed in those things, and she knew marketing, business, IT. She knew the stuff, the business stuff. I knew the talky stuff. And we were driving back from the interview, and I said, you know, I don't want to be held back by someone else's rules of how I can help someone. And my transformational interviewing style can get down to some tough stuff, but it moves people forward. So I said, let's do this thing. Let's do the life coaching thing.
Yeah. And
she was on board, and we have been around. We launched in September 2023. I've had a few clients. I'm growing as a person, learning business and how to do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Awesome. So what inspired you to get into this endeavor?
Kind of, you know, again, actually I had a position at UNO where we were life coaches. I really enjoyed having those conversations where it wasn't just the transactional academic, take this class, but like, what's going on with you? What is happening? I had an example of a student. She was debating between being a editor or working as a manager at a senior health care facility. And she talked a lot about the editing thing, and she liked it. But when she mentioned just for 2 minutes about the senior health care, her face just lit up.
Okay.
And I just stopped and I listened, and I looked at her and I said, do you have any idea how big your smile was? And you only said 2 sentences about the senior health care, and you spoke for 10 minutes on the other one. She's like, no. And I was like, I think that's something we need to pursue and look at. So that kind of having that transformational conversation, when I was a football coach, I always look back and realize that most of the times I had speeches or talks with my players, maybe 10% was about football. Most of it was about life.
Yeah.
And looking at the way the world was, I decided I don't like having someone tell me what to do. And I don't like having someone tell me how to help somebody else. And I figured I want to be my own boss. And so we went on this journey of Wyatt's Torch Life Coaching.
Okay, fabulous. Wyatt's Torch, that sounds unique. How'd you come up with that name?
Wyatt's Torch, it's a reference to a book called Atlas Shrugged, written by Ayn Rand. And it's just kind of, to me, it's a beacon of absolute personal responsibility, accountability, and you are the determiner of the end of your own life and how it plays out. And it can be bad. You could be, you know, in the depths and the bottom and barely scraping by, but I would rather be poor and my own boss and in control of myself than have someone else help me or be in power over me, even though I'm living comfortably.
Yeah.
You know, just had a good moments in college where I had some moments where I got real weak, and I realized, you know, I would rather struggle and be in charge than someone else be in charge because they're giving me something.
Yeah.
And that's what Wyatt's Torch means to me, is trying to empower people to be their own boss, take accountability, take responsibility, see flaws, see positives, reduce the flaws, increase the positives, and know that they did it and they're moving forward.
Wow, that's an absolute gift for, you know, the entrepreneur community. It's
hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely, because I hear that so often is people, you know, well, I want to work for myself. I want to make my own money. I want to make my own choices. I want to, so very unique. Wyatt's Torch. Very cool. How about the key lockout?
Well, my business partner, Leah Williams, she had created locksmith company with her ex-husband. They had it for like 10 years, and then that dissolved, but she still had owned part of the company. And as we were building Wyatt's Torch and doing all the great, you all, especially if you're entrepreneurs, the groundwork is 24/7 trying to get, it's an extra way to make some money. You get it running, help somebody locked out of their car, locked out of their house. We just did Unlocked Omaha. Just did the Texas Roadhouse over at in Council Bluffs.
Okay.
That was a job, and it was a learning experience, but it helps keep me afloat while I try to get Wyatt's Torch going and getting more traction.
Yeah. Well, that's very interesting. It's almost like a day and then like a night superhero. If you could relate to a superhero, is there one in particular or two that?
If I could relate to superheroes, I would say my sense of humor comes from Spider-Man, because I'm a bit sarcastic. And then hopefully I hope to aspire that I'm somewhat like Batman, and that I'm absolutely resolute in doing the right thing, even if it doesn't benefit me. One of my journeys as a teacher is I found in the public education system that when I saw something was wrong, I said something. Yeah. And that usually is, anybody that knows, when you're the first one through the door, you're the one that gets bloody. And had a few good conversations with some trusted people and realized that education and my philosophy of what it should be did not match. Mm-hmm. And even though I loved working with kids and I loved watching kids grow and seeing those aha moments, and I knew I was going to be butting heads with a lot of upper echelons. And again, that's someone telling me what they think the best advice in mentoring for kids or young people or anybody is, and I don't. Usually I'm too arrogant to think they're right. So it doesn't mean I was necessarily absolutely right, just realized I wasn't going to have peace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There.
Yeah. Well, and coaching, that has definitely positioned you to do this. Is there a coach or somebody from your past that really inspired the trajectory of where you are?
Well, actually, yes, in the opposite way. I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible. It's going into my senior year. It was clear that my skills or abilities was not what the varsity coaches wanted at the position. I was at running back, and my dream was to play in college. My dream was always to play for the Raiders, but got to go to college for that. And I saw that opportunity was slipping away, and I decided instead of spending the next year on the sideline complaining that I wasn't getting playing time, I switched to a position I'd never played, and decided I'd rather try my best at this and not make it, but then I can look back and go, I gave it everything I had, and it's just what it was, than have my destiny be determined by someone else.
Yeah.
And that, for good or bad, I've always been that kind of stubborn. I don't like having other people in charge of me.
Sure.
And so that, I've looked back at that growth moment and so many things I've done, and just been like, that was the moment I decided, instead of blaming others, I'm going to take it on myself. And if I succeed, awesome. If I don't, it's because of me and no one else. And I'd rather have that.
You're responsible for your own destiny.
Yep. And I had a brief stint in college, and I didn't amount to much, but I got to try. And that's, I was happy that I got the chance to try.
Yeah. I'm going to make sure that my kiddo Elijah watches this episode.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. Yesterday he came home and was like, "Oh my gosh, I've always been a lineman." He was like heavier.
Right.
Now he's like super skinny, and he's like, "Mom, Coach wants me to be running back." I'm like, "What's that? Like, what do you do?" I'm like, "Defensive end. Like, that's what you're doing, right?" And he's like, "No." And he's like, "But Mom, I'm just going to give it a try, because it's either play running back or don't play at all."
There you go.
So great advice. Thank you.
I actually just had a run-in with a former player of mine, by pure chance, and he's now a wrestling coach at one of the high schools here. Turned out to be a great young man, and he reminded me of a story, and I had totally forgotten, and he was telling me the story. I was like, oh, I kind of remember doing that. And not to toot my own horn, but by his own words, you changed my life that day by making me go up and be accountable to the coach. Without that, I wouldn't have continued playing football, and I wouldn't have got a chance to play in college. And I was like, well, you were a great player, and I didn't want the circumstances to keep you from that dream. And it was like, to me, it was just helping a kid, helping someone figure it out. And it wasn't giving them what they want. It wasn't telling them what they wanted to hear. There were some harsh conversations we had to have.
Sure.
And he had, as a young man, to go up and walk up to a head coach and tell him. And he had to accept the results of whatever the coach said. Yeah. And he did. And he ended up getting to do a lot of things. And, those are those moments where it's like, maybe for one brief second I had a positive impact on someone's life. And that's pretty cool.
I believe that. So accountability is one of the pieces for coaching. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What else? What does it look like to work with you?
Well, basically what we do is we have a good intake session. We determine if we are compatible, what you're looking for as a client, whether you're looking for as a company that wants to hire a life coach to create a culture, if those things are going to work. I've actually turned down a few clients that what they were looking for is was not my expertise, but I knew some people like executive kind of level.
Sure.
And that's, I kind of come from education, so I don't know that world that much. So we determine whether that is something that we can work together with. Then we sit down, and basically I listen, and I listen for what a client wants to achieve or what obstacle they want to overcome, and then what I'm really also listening for is do they see the things that they're putting in front of themselves as obstacles and they don't even know it? Bad patterns, bad habits, continually doing the same things. Overstressing, thinking and carrying burdens that they don't need to even be carrying, or carrying burdens that they can get off their shoulder. They just haven't found that clue. And so then we kind of dissect that and figure that out, and then we set up some plans, whether it's tangible practices or it's just a weekly or bi-weekly conversation. How was this last week? How did you handle this or this? How did you handle your in-laws coming in? Something like that. Yeah. And, trying to rewire that thinking, because we all do that. We all have a wired thinking. And until
creature of habit.
Yep. And until we rewire it, we will continue to resort to that reaction, that whatever, that perspective. Yeah. Until someone, I had a student, I was 38, and I had a football player completely change my thinking of a topic that I had held since I was 6. Yeah. And he just blew my mind with his just honest observation. I was like, he still had to run the hills because he was being bad, but he did blow my mind, and that's what I try to do at Wyatt's Torch is rewire, because we can't control what others do, we can't control how others act. We can only control how we act, how we react, and how can we do that where it's healthy for everybody. Sure. And at the end of the day, healthy for you. Especially in the workforce, we come home, we're mad at this person, that coworker, that boss, this and that. Okay, well, we can't control what they did. We can control what we did. Did we speak our mind? Did we express ourselves? Are we making something bigger than it needs to be? Or do we not have the communication skill set yet to express these protocols or these procedures are hampering work flow, I guess we can say. Well, then let's find those words. Huh?
Keyword I heard yet. I love that.
Workflow.
Not yet, but you're getting there.
Okay.
Love it. Oh, that's great. How about the generation, right? When did you stop teaching?
2013.
Okay.
Last time I was
so it's about 10, 12 years. So things are changing for the kiddos, right? Technology, the way that we're expressing ourselves, like the world in general. What advice would you give to the kiddos out there in the world that are considering entrepreneurship or considering trying out for the football team, positioning themselves against an obstacle?
I think the first thing I would say is integrity. And one of the mistakes of the concept of integrity is that people think that means you're supposed to be perfect, and that's not integrity. Integrity is being honest with yourself, owning up and being accountable for whatever actions, mistakes, anything that you do, even if it's not convenient. Even if you know, if I admit this, if I accept this, I'm going to look bad or this is going to go wrong. The integrity is what matters, because that lasts longer than that mistake. That follows you farther and spreads out. People are going to remember, you know, so-and-so worked for me, they kind of made some mistakes, but they stood up and owned it. I'd rather have someone that's honest and willing to make the thing right than someone that lies and gets out of there and doesn't take accountability. I think for young people, I think our society in general, I mean, TikTok and social media has taken what is basically teenage culture, which is, you know, the teenage years, you're trying to find out who you are, and you're trying to learn what is right, what is wrong, and you have all these impulses, and you don't even want to know. And what social media, what all this instant gratification, this instant empty validation does is it completely erodes the concept of integrity and accountability. Because if you do something bad, you put it online, and you get a bunch of other people that are just as lacking in those morals, telling you did a good job. No integrity is built, no morality is built, no value is built. Those things are built through mistakes, learning, taking accountability, and growing. And I would think that'd be one of the things I hope that I have, and I would push absolutely, is own up to who you are, be honest, and work hard. Nothing's going to come easy. Nothing, well, let me rephrase that. Nothing of value that's long lasting will come easy.
Yeah.
The quick money, the quick validation, the quick likes, those are all great, but at the end of the day, you don't know any of those people that follow you. They don't know your heart, they don't know your soul, they don't know your mind. They're just people. You know, the people in your life that know you, that's what matters. Whether it's work, business, coworkers, colleagues, peers, they know you, whether you have integrity, accountability, and are responsible.
Yeah,
That'd
absolutely.
probably be my message.
Well, thank you. That's very good advice for the world that our kiddos are currently residing.
Hopefully.
Anything on your mind you wanted to cover that we haven't quite hit on yet?
You know, you covered a lot more than I was expecting. No, I think that's pretty good. You know, the only thing I think I'd leave you with is, if you are an employee or an employer, ask yourself what 3 hours a week of access to support, whether it's stress, business coaching, whether it's confidence building, if that would improve your work environment, your work day. And if so, come talk to Wyatt's Torch, and let's see how we can make either you yourself or your work environment a better place to work as a team.
Yeah, fabulous. And thank you so much, because that was exactly the question. How can our community assist you in your endeavor? We will put his link in the captions below. Reach out to Doug if you are looking to get some coaching. Sounds like 3 hours a week. I imagine all of us are scrolling more hours than that. So let's work on you. Let's build you. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode. Look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.